So we're recording another edition of the Crew Podcast. We have Brett and Carlos with freshly cut hair, and Carlos. Brett, who is wearing a hat because he has not gotten his hair cut. Wait, show the cameras. Let's see it. Come on. There we go.
God, I'm editing this.
We'll put it in. Don't worry. So Josh Duhamel, the actor who I once upon a time had as a guest on my radio show when I was a kid, who we then coordinated over text over the, many months ago planning this. And originally we talked about doing it on set, but I was able to convince him to let us go to really his sanctuary for this taping. And I think we probably had some of the most fun we've ever had on a shoot. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think without a doubt, this was the funnest shoot that I've been a part of. I think Josh was really welcoming, and just him being that kind of guy that was willing to do anything that you were asking to do and more. He called you the day before and was like, hey, I have all these other ideas of things we can do. So, that's just kind of guy he had.
Right, he's like, let's throw axes, we can shoot guns if you want, I'll take you out on the lake, we can go jet skiing, bow and arrow, we jumped in the lake. Yeah. And you almost lost our guest.
That is true. It was a frightening moment about 5 minutes before the interview was about to start, and I couldn't find Josh in his.
Well, no, you just didn't. You just left him. No, you didn't even look.
Technically, he said me.
No, he said you guys had planned to meet at the edge of his property, and then he reached out asking where you were. I'm like, well, Brett is back here with us.
The edge of his property. Am I just supposed to know where that is? Number one.
You were supposed to be following him, he said.
Yes. So the story goes, I was supposed to follow Josh. I could not start his Bobcat that he had on site to follow him.
And you're from Oklahoma.
And I'm from Oklahoma, so I was embarrassed about that. But eventually I got it started about 5 minutes later, but I then was having to track down Josh in his doomsday prepper woods, and I was unable to do so for quite a while until you called me.
Well, yeah, because you were just back hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was actually waiting on me to find Josh to start the interview. But you know what? It's a story we can all laugh about now. And
yeah, it's funny now. It wasn't that funny back then.
Definitely not funny, because it was also starting to rain.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the rain.
Yeah, what was...
Jeez, I totally forgot about that.
How concerned were you about the rain?
That was the whole thing we had planned out, and it was just, oh, it's raining. We can't get the cameras wet. We can't really go out there. We don't have... we have umbrellas, but we need someone to carry the umbrellas while somebody's operating the camera. We can't do it at the same time. But yeah, we went outside and it just started pouring. And then we were trying to figure out what to do. And it's like, all right, well, it's starting to die down a little bit, so let's just go ahead and do it. And so we rode on the Bobcats, and then we started the first activity, just having that tour.
How about each of your favorite parts of the shoot?
I would say I think I enjoyed the archery stuff the most. I enjoyed it in the shoot, and then enjoyed it in the post-production as well. Seeing you with the bow and arrow and Josh trying to teach you what to do.
Okay, let me get this on you here. Yep, that's your trigger finger.
Okay. This seems dangerous. There's no way.
You gotta pull it back. Keep going. There you go.
I don't know what, is it supposed to click?
It'll just go, and it'll kind of set into a spot. There, you see you had it there. Okay, now, oh.
I'm gonna kill somebody.
Arrow down, arrow down.
I think we laughed a billion times.
Was that
in the office.
Was that your first time using a bow and arrow?
I wish. The first time since I was a kid at camp, though.
Okay.
So, we're talking like first time since probably elementary school.
Right. Okay.
Screw y'all.
No, that was definitely a cool part. And then just, like you said, going around his entire property. It is massive, and he's a guy who preps for doomsday, and I think he's ready for if that moment happens, wouldn't you say?
I think so. He had, 3 wells, he said, on the property?
You probably know that I am a bit of a doomsday prepper. And I think water is going to be something we're all it's going to be in desperate need at some point. Hopefully not, but that could be the case. So just having these wells is huge.
He had never done a media piece on his property before, and it was really important to me to try to convince him to allow us there. He was not all that interested in allowing it initially, but after kind of months of working on him, we were able to convince him, and I'm so glad we ended up filming there with him versus a movie set, because, you know, plenty of people you can tape on a movie set, not as many people you can tape on their 50-acre private Minnesota lodge.
And he was willing to work with us with so much stuff. He was super nice about everything. He was just a fun person to be with.
So was I more or less embarrassing than you expected with shotgunning a beer?
I think it went just about as I thought it would go. Maybe.
I was a little disappointed.
Really?
Set, go.
Yeah, I thought you would be able to, you know, do that, impress everybody. Like, yeah, I just did that.
I think it's a bit. I think you could have shotgunned the beer.
I don't.
But I think you did it for the camera.
After, no, you do not.
I think it was fake.
So after I watched it back, I'm like, oh, now I know how to shotgun from watching him.
Yeah.
You would think I would have learned, but
yeah, he did not.
as is evident, I didn't go to college.
Yeah, you didn't need to. Didn't need to. And just to follow up too, being on his property made it so unique in that it was just him out there. You know, him and his wife Audra. We got to see Axel a little bit, but
he was like mowing the lawn.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we were about to do another. I think to sit down with you, and we couldn't find him. He was out in the back on his riding lawnmower. So yeah.
Okay, the thing you did not think I was going to ask to start the interview.
Yeah, you started the interview on just coming out firing. Like truly, I think Josh was like happy that you were starting it like that, but just so shocked because he's never, like, you started with a fart question, I believe. You were told that Josh was able to fart on command.
Yeah.
And then
he did it. Your good friend Bob Schwartz, or the Bob Father, as he's known in the buddy games, told me to start the interview by asking you this, and your sister confirmed you had this ability, that you can fart on command.
It's kind of, we just did have it. There we go.
So that's a skill.
Everybody's got a skill.
The one you did not think I was going to ask was, I found out through talking to his sister that Josh pooped on her head. Right. And you're like, there's no way you're going to bring that up. And that was question number 2. Your sister also told me to bring up that one time she pissed you off and you pooped on her head.
Yeah, I did. We're starting with a fart joke and then a poop joke right off the bat.
What happened there?
he's a guy who appreciated your humor, and I think that's what really made the day go so well, is because you were buddy-buddy with the Buddy Game star.
Do you still have a scar?
No, it's all gone now.
Okay, explain that.
So we're on the boat, you guys were jet skiing, and we wanted to get some drone footage of it, and I decided that I was going to lift up the drone to kind of like a pigeon.
And you're thinking what at the time?
Well, I mean, I didn't see him grabbing it the first time, but I remember I just turned around and I see Brett's hands just covered in blood. And I was like, oh my God. Dude.
But essentially, instead of the drone flying up in the air, it flew towards the side of the boat and towards the water.
That's right, I did see that.
Me being me and not thinking it through, I guess, all the way, I decided to grab the drone thinking it was like foam propellers. Turns out those, it's not foam, and it hurt really bad.
How about favorite parts of the interview?
The farting part.
I would say, well, I liked hearing him talk about like the Buddy Games and his movies and kind of the climb through Hollywood. My
favorite parts were the borderline emotional parts that everybody gives me a hard time about. But you know, first when we were talking to Josh and Audra together, and he is explaining what he loves about her, and you know, he's rattling the stuff off, and I don't think he was paying that close of attention to her facial expressions, maybe because he was probably looking at me, but I could tell because I was looking at her that she was just on the brink of hysterics, for all the right reasons, because this is her man talking about everything he loves about her. And then, unbeknownst to me, like early on in the interview with Josh, topics about growing up were pretty triggering for him. I would have never guessed that going into it.
And that was early in the interview, too.
Very early.
Yeah.
She's seen me with all my heartbreak. She's seen me with, you know, all the disappointments. And, you know, had a couple things in sports that happened that were really, really heartbreaking. Girls just struggling in, you know, California.
Brings a tear to your eye almost thinking about it.
Are you trying to make me cry right now?
No, but it, like I can tell, like
I'm
moves you.
It does move me because, you know, she's truly been there for me through thick and thin, and no matter what, no matter how many times I'd screw up.
He definitely, his eyes were watering, and he admitted it was kind of tough to talk, you know, look back on these things. So, and it is an interesting childhood for him to live in the middle of, you know, North Dakota, where not a lot's going on probably, and now is, you know, developed into one of the best actors through overcoming adversity in his childhood, whether it's financial issues and through his parents' divorce, and just the struggle to make it as an actor. His journey is very interesting, and I don't think a lot of people really know about it.
Yeah.
And he cooked for us.
Oh, you got, you can't leave that out. He just seemed like a normal dude. If you didn't know anything about his profession, you just would think he's a good old country boy.
Yeah, I mean, I was like setting up camera equipment, and then I remember Brett just came out with a whole plate of like, just like, was it like egg muffins or whatever?
Breakfast sandwiches.
Breakfast sandwiches. I'm like, oh yeah, Josh made these. Like, what? These look awesome.
And they were so good.
They were really good.
And then he followed it up, made us ribs and burgers for lunch.
Burgers for lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And not only that, but he sat next to us, and we were just hanging out with him.
He ate with us. Yeah, he truly was a normal guy in an actor's body.
How was spending the night at his place?
It was fun. Josh let us stay on his property, Carlos and I, after the shoot. Very generous of him. And so we got to stay in the Red Cabin. And it's a cool little cabin. It's got the Duhamel's dive out there. So we got to sit out there with the neon lights, look over the lake. It was really cool. And he called us about
called us a couple times.
3 or 4
just
times.
Making sure you guys,
really?
is the AC working? Are the windows closed? Are you guys good? I'm like, good. Oh yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
He sent us to the cabin with a taco pizza as well.
Oh yeah, the taco pizza. Like, here, take this.
So literally all 3 meals that day were provided by Josh.
Yeah. There's one thing I want to talk about too.
Okay.
There's one last thing. Okay. Audra asked you if they can take pictures of them for like their pregnancy photos. Yeah. Josh was like, hey, what about that guy? Is that your guy? Is that your guy for photos? And then I guess he was pointing at me. And so then someone told me, oh, hey, Audra and Josh want to take a picture. Can you go ahead and take some pictures real quick? I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I went up there. I took some cool pictures of them, some funny ones. And there was some wholesome pictures in there. And I was pretty proud of them.
Yeah. Did you end up sending him to her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Carlos came back to the Red Cabin and worked on it for
I worked
2 hours that night.
Made sure they looked great for her.
Well, so I wasn't sure if you did it or not, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Brett probably forgot to send these, and then I was gonna message you, and I'm like, nope, what's done is done.
Yeah, no, she's got them, and then she told me, she's like, oh, thank you for the photos. I'm like, yeah, you're welcome.
Well, on that note, until next time.